down the wormhole, and today we are making a CO2 drip system that you can do yourself. I've had a couple requests to do this. It has been a really long time since I've done this. You can use it for your planted tanks or for putting over top of your plants because CO2 is heavier than air, so it will drip onto your plants. So let's get this started. We need some basic materials. You're going to need a Coke bottle, a little bit of silicone, some tubing, yeast, and some sugar. Let's go see if we can get this to work today. Alright guys, the first step that you're going to have to do to make one of these is to make yourself a lid. You're going to need a hose with silicone around the outside. If you can use duct tape, use duct tape, but I would recommend silicone. You cannot let the air escape. That is what we're trying to get to travel down the tube and out and over our plants. So you can use a drill or you can use a razor blade. Just make sure you seal it off around the outside. Step one done. An apple juice container will work, pop container will work, whatever you want to work with. You just have to kind of adjust your recipe accordingly. For a recipe today, it has been so long since I've done this, I can't remember exactly what it was that I used, but I've measured out about 2 cups of sugar, and we're going to use a tablespoon of yeast for each cup of sugar that we use, and then some warm water to activate the whole thing. I am warming up my yeast to room temperature before we use it, just to speed the process along. So let's add our sugar and we'll be right back. Alright, so we've got our sugar in here as usual. I've made a really good mess in here. I'm going to fill this up with some water next. I'm going to put it fairly close to the top because we're just trying to get the CO2 to move out of here and down the hose and onto our plants or into our fish tanks. You can use this for fish tanks to put on your planted tanks, though it is good to have a timer. This thing is going to run 24 hours a day. There's not going to be any stopping this, so during the night it will affect the pH of your tank, so do use this wisely and make sure you read up on how this can affect your pH in your tank if you do choose to go that route. Give me a minute to get some warm water going. Alright, so far I have made some really sugary water. If you're smart, you will remember to keep an extra lid so that you can shake this up and stir this a little easier than just hanging on to the top and crossing your fingers, which is what I just did. And then you just need to add the yeast. As simple as that. The idea is that the yeast is going to eat the sugar in here and produce your CO2 bubbles, which are going to feed your plants. So like I said, I got 2 cups of sugar, so I'm going to try, we better add the funnel one more time. 2 teaspoons of yeast in here. Now this is bread yeast. I think as long as you use an active yeast, you should be able to get the same results. I make bread, so this is what I got, and this is what I'm going to use today. Let's give this one more stir up and we'll see what happens. There we go. And the power of the internet, we will be back in a little while and hopefully we can see some bubbles starting to form.
5 minutes later.
Alright, well here you go guys. It has been maybe 5 minutes. And we already have CO2 popping out of a really long hose. It's just going to take a little bit. I will have to cut this hose once I figure out exactly how I'm going to rig it up in there, but the bubbles are already starting to form on the top. I'm hoping this will run for about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the temperature, how much sugar, and all that kind of fun stuff put in there. So we will let you know when this kind of finally dries up, but there you go, there's your proof. We got CO2 drip, homemade, to 3 ingredients: water, sugar, yeast, and ta-da. So there you go, boys. I hope you enjoyed that, and rig yourself up one. Let me know how it goes. Best of luck to you all. Peace.